Beep.
So get it out anyway. It's not good. Said my membership expired, so I have to watch an ad before I can see the stream.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 535, recorded on July 10th, 2025. On this week's episode, we talk about things that we haven't talked about in the last couple weeks because we've been off for July 4th. Well, except for Justin. He couldn't celebrate. Anyways, we talk about Nintendo Switch game voucher program, where that's going. We talk about GameStop and auctioning off a stapler or something. Nintendo developer news and more Nintendo news as we go through today's topics. Jesse, you know what to do.
Hey, what's up, folks? It's Marty here from Nintendo Dads. It's episode 535, July 10th, 2025. And joining me on the show this week, the full cast of characters. We are rested. We are refreshed. We have all of our fingers left from the 4th of July. And we are here for you to talk about Nintendo and other things. Tim, I'm going to throw it to you first. How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good. Definitely rested. We had a great 4th of July. It's been a great summer, although some hot days, but we've been able to go spend some time at my father-in-law's pool, like almost 2 or 3 days in a row. So it was great. And just having a good old time enjoying the weather here in the summertime. So it's been good. How about you, Marty?
Yeah, it's been great. We had a fun 4th. It was pretty low key. Went uptown and watched the local fireworks display over the lake. We have this little spot that we go with a couple other families. It's in their one of their relatives' backyards, and it's right across from the local Sonic. And so we'll go and we'll get a drink, and then park over there and throw out some camping chairs and watch the fireworks for about 30 minutes display, and then came home. We hung out earlier in the day with some friends, and then this weekend it's like all the things explosion. This weekend we've had relatives in. More are coming because it's my in-laws' 50th anniversary that we're celebrating this weekend.
Congratulations to them.
And yeah, it's a huge thing. And then
did you know we're coming too? We're coming too. We're all
really
coming. Yeah, we're all coming to your house.
Okay, come on. That's why they told me nobody's staying here. They were getting ready for you guys.
Yeah.
My daughter's taking the ACT this weekend, and we've just got all kinds of stuff. And for my wrestling fans out there, and I know there's like 5 of them who listen to the podcast, it's AEW All In weekends on Saturday, AEW's biggest show of the year, and I'm super excited.
Nice.
For that, clearing the calendar, going to go get some snacks. Yeah. So I'm going to throw it over to Jesse. How you doing, buddy?
I've been doing well-ish, I think. It's I've been busy with things. I'll talk about those later. In a few months, I think I'll be ready to talk about it more. But again, Thursday was gym day, leg day, so I am sore. And normally my next time at the gym would be Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning, but they have a special event going on, so all their personal trainers were unavailable for this event. So they asked if I can do a Friday afternoon. So I'm like, back-to-back workouts. I am going to be so sore tomorrow.
Fun.
So the next time we have a Nintendo Dads get together, are you going to be all buff and everything? You'll be like,
I hope so.
Flexing in front of us. We're like, Arr.
Well, at least when we met in May, I was more buff than I was back in January,
Swole
Yep.
Jesse.
where I
Swole
was
Jesse.
just blob Jesse. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
can't. I
then,
can't wait till. I wish we had artists to be able to draw up Swole Jesse.
you know, is Leonard still taking commissions? Here we go.
Oh yeah, there we go.
And then I'm planning on seeing the Superman movie tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Cool. We're going in a couple of weeks to see that. Just when we're going to have time, finally. And last but not certainly not least, the man of mystery from the north, Justin Masson. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. I was in your wonderful country a couple days ago, actually.
I saw that making fun of things,
Yeah,
making fun of our Pringle flavors,
Yep.
wandering through Target and picking up random Mario related things.
I actually didn't buy any of those things. I will let you know that.
Yeah.
I was down in Billings, Montana, for a concert. So we just before July 4th, had a great road trip. Always love a good family road trip. It was wonderful to get together with family. And it's funny as you cross the U.S. border. As a Canadian, it's sort of like there are so many things that are similar, and then there's these weird, stark differences, and none of that shows up more so than when you show up at a Target, right? And you look at all the different snack flavors and pop flavors and chip flavors, and so we had a great time there. But I had heard the big rumor that like Nintendo Switch 2 was hard to find in the US, and I was like, surely this is a bunch of malarkey. And I went to the Target, and Jody and I walked straight to the electronic section, and there was no Nintendo Switches 2 at all on the shelf. And I was like, wow, because up here in the Great White North, fairly easy to buy,
Really?
fairly easy to purchase. Like I could probably, if you're coming to the Great White North or near the Canadian Lethbridge Montana border, and you need a place to go, let me know. I could tell you probably where you can go to get them. Like they are not. I should start smuggling them across the border.
So
I think.
that, interestingly enough, I just mailed a Nintendo Switch 2 today to someone in California
Really?
who was looking for one because they have a event going on with their church where they're giving one away
Yeah.
at summer camp this summer, and they contacted me and they were like, "Hey, we know you're kind of in the know. How do
Yeah.
we get a Nintendo Switch 2?" And I was like, so I gave them some pointers. Told them, you need to make friends with GameStop and you need to have a Best Buy account because they do some restocks. You need to watch Target and Walmart online.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, yesterday I thought, you know what, I'll just check for them.
Yeah.
Pulled up Target,
Boom.
Nintendo Switch 2, 5 left at your local location. Boom. All right, great. Purchased it, went and picked it up this morning, shipped it to them. The day is saved. But not,
Right.
I mean, like that's. I'm just glad.
I mean,
they were
you're a
able to get
hero.
one.
You're
Like,
a hero
I
among
told
men.
them, I was like, I really hope that whoever gets this is like, there's a freak out moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I hope it goes to somebody that like that is. It's really
That is
going to make their day.
high on their list.
Right.
It's kind of like you remember when the fervor about the NES Classic was going on.
Yeah, for sure.
And we have a guy that we're friends with, family friend, personal friend, who he works at Walmart. And he would tell me, he would be like, if you might show up around this time, there might be some. I'll try to tell you, but he's like, but when I call you and I tell you that they're going to be there or that they're there, you've got to show up like then because we can't hold them. We can't hold them.
Yeah.
That's like
That's
we've
fair.
been told we can't hold them, but I can tell you when they're in stock. And so he would give me tip-offs. He would be like,
Yeah.
hey, there's going to be some in stock in about an hour.
So you legitimately had a man on the inside.
Yeah, so
Nice.
I would go and stand, and I made several families happy that Christmas, and that was like, I enjoy doing that.
That's awesome.
So there you go.
Love it.
Just a little lore, And I was first in line for the SNES Classic.
Nice.
Camping chairs and everything.
Mine was delivered right to my door in Ireland, which was great.
Yeah, see, they didn't do that here because they wanted to watch the bloodbath every time.
Had it like literally the shop at Smith's literally had it posted over and they dropped it off the door. And mine's interesting because mine's actually not the North American purple. which is
Yep.
which
Oh, you
because
have the special.
I was abroad when I bought it, so it is actually
Oh, so you got the PAL version,
I have the PAL version of the SNES Classic,
That's cool.
which
which is
it's
very cool.
basically the same look as the Super Famicom, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah, it's the same body style, the
Yep.
the yellow, green, blue, red controller
Yep.
buttons. So like
Purple's still better.
just can we just pause here for just a
Yes,
second
for
and take
sure.
a moment, I guess, of like moment of silence or remembrance for how things used to be for Nintendo. Like, remember when that was
Mm,
like it was a big deal that they were
yeah,
putting out a classic system with 30 games on it? And
right.
people were raving about it. You remember when we used to speculate there was going to be a Game Boy Classic and a Nintendo 64
I
Classic?
still think the Game Boy Classic would have been a brilliant idea.
I do too.
I legitimate like I think well here's the thing, there was sort of like money in those hills, but I think once they realized the Nintendo Switch Online opportunity that they ended up having, and that can create a longer term subscription model, they absolutely pivoted that. But I also like, speaking of like memory lane, do you remember Mitomo? Do you remember Mitomo? I was looking through something
Yeah,
recently. I was like, oh my gosh, Mitomo. We actually like talked to it. Like
that was a thing.
that was a thing that we spent time and energy talking about.
Yep. I
Well, you
remember
know
that
what?
app. That was a
We
fun app.
have we have some things to
Well, we should
spend
talk
time and
about that.
energy talking about.
Yeah,
So,
let's do that.
with that being said, Jesse, fire the news.
You're fired, News. You're fired. You're the worst. You're the worst, News. You're fired.
And of course, our news is brought to us each and every week by you guys over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. And we want to say a huge thanks to all of our patrons for helping keep the lights on over here, for making sure that we're able to produce more and more great content for you, keep the YouTube channel going, get games, do all that great stuff. It's really because of our amazing community that we are able to do those things, but also to keep going. You are the wind beneath our wings. And so if you would like to be the wind beneath our wings as well, you can join that mighty gust of wind by heading over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. $1 a month gets you in the door, $5 gets you the full Discord sub channels, $10 a month pre and post show audio, and $30 a month you become a Patreon producer of the show. And everybody, whatever level you're at over there, thanks. We mean that, really. We love you guys and we appreciate you. And we're thankful. Go to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads to join up. All right, let's talk some news. We've got quite a bit of news items to wade through, even though it seems like things are a little quiet on the home front. We were talking about this before the show. That's been a little too quiet. And I think sometimes too quiet for Nintendo fans in the community does one or two things. It either makes us rabidly obsessive about any type of new news, or it spawns phantom direct announcements, which is what it's done over the past week and a half. It seems like everybody's talking about that there's going to be a Nintendo Direct at some point. And folks, we're here to tell you, we're going to put it to bed right here, right now. We know when the next Nintendo Direct is. So are you ready? We're going to lock in right here with Marty. All right, everybody, look in my eyes. The next Nintendo Direct is going to be when Nintendo announces it. All right, stop it. Stop it. This is why we got Switch stuff way ahead of time. Switch 2 stuff way ahead of time, because there was this tidal wave of junk on the internet, and then they did a 2-minute teaser video, and then we had to wait 2 more months. That was Nintendo punishing us. They were slapping our hand because we forced them to say something. And Justin, I see there's contemplation. You've got wheels turning over there, but really, do you not agree with me? The next Direct's going to be when Nintendo announces it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So like,
And
let's take
it's not going to be right now.
Yeah, let's move away a little bit of the hyperbole, and like let's tackle this from a
Sure.
tactical perspective, right?
Sure.
Which is truth. Nintendo will tell us, like, we will hear it from Nintendo when they're ready, right?
Yep, on
Do
the
I
Nintendo Today app.
Yeah, 100%. That's where it'll be announced first, right? And I think people are still so used to going to Twitter. There was a lot of rumor and speculation from some reputable parties this week that there would be something this week. Now, it's not to say there wasn't something scheduled and Nintendo last minute pulls it. But I do think that we are at a positioning right now that Nintendo. Now, let me be clear here. I do think it would be advantageous for Nintendo to do a Nintendo Direct sooner than not, because there are some big question marks outstanding that I think fans would still like to know. That being said, it is not for a lack of drought or content that Nintendo is putting out in the next 4 to 6 weeks for us as consumers. It's not a lack of content. Let me be very clear on that. What people are really starting to become cautious of is what Nintendo does well is they tell us the roadmap for the next 6 to 9 months, right? Here, and so it's sort of like a runway. Well, the current scenario and the current information that has been told to us, the runway is actually getting shorter and shorter. We're getting closer and closer to the end of that. And what I mean by that runway is we do actually have a date for Donkey Kong Bananza, so we know it's coming out very soon. There are other games like Dragon Drive that's out there. We do have some additional upgrade packs for the Nintendo Switch 2 for both Kirby and for Jamboree, right? We then have this very big hanging question mark around Metroid Prime 4. P.S. It's going to be September, right? We do have a date on Pokemon, that's October, but we still have question marks regarding Kirby Air Ride, which was announced for 2025, Hyrule Warriors, which I think was sort of announced for 2025.
Winter.
We still have question marks regarding when Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming out. We have question marks around dates for Elden Ring, that Duskblood, some games that they recently showed us as well. And we still have a pretty big question mark around what does Xbox offering end up looking like, which we haven't heard from them yet, right? We have some other pieces of like information around sort of the internet that have sort of indicated things are afoot. So we have seen a games rating recently for Assassin's Creed Shadows coming to Nintendo Switch 2. We know that it has been confirmed that Hollow Knight Silksong will be released in 2025, right? So there's a lot of these sort of like question marks on the Nintendo bingo card, if you would, that it would be great for Nintendo to say something. Now, I fully believe we are coming around the bend. We are not going to get a direct next week, and the reason is they are going to spend all their time, energy, and money and voice to promote Bonanza. We know that the previews have come out. That is a really high preview results. We're already hearing Game of the Year conversations. We know it's done by the Nintendo team who did Odyssey, or at least members of the team who've done Odyssey. They are doubling down on Bonanza. That will be the conversation next week for sure. So that then leads us into like a late July, early August potentially. But we already know we have games again, like I mentioned, Dragon Drive and some of these other updates as well.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. They're not going to want to shoot their foot on with the Donkey Kong thing, because this is okay. You may not agree with me on this, but that's okay. I think it's a big gamble for them, in Nintendo's eyes, even for them to lead with a Donkey Kong action adventure platformer and not a Mario. And so in that way, they're really putting, I want to say, all their bananas in one basket or whatever with it. Yeah. But there is a bit of risk with this, which is why the messaging on it has been so strong from the beginning, because there are going to be people who inevitably say, why is this not Mario? Why did they not bring out a new Mario before this? Yeah. And it doesn't matter the quality of the game. Yeah. It's just Nintendo equal Mario, right?
Well, yeah, and I do think to that point, like Mario sells consoles. We 100% know that, right? Donkey Kong doesn't sell consoles traditionally, right? But I think
what in the SNES area.
Yeah, but I think what Nintendo is saying here is we have a player who's been sitting on the bench, and we think there's an opportunity to really elevate what they're doing, where they've already spent a lot of money in the marketing of not just Bonanza, but as you think of, obviously, the Universal Studios park that's recently come up, Donkey Kong's positioning in the movies, right? The Mario, like, so there's a ton going on there. So I do think, and so I think it'll be interesting to see what happens.
So what I hear you saying is that with all this Donkey Kong stuff, there's a lot of Bananergy around
I
all
didn't
of
say that.
this.
I didn't say that. I wouldn't say that. That was the worst. That was the
It
worst.
was hanging right there, and
Yeah.
I had to take it. I had to pick
Okay.
it.
Well,
Again,
Okay.
I said
all right.
this
Like a
before. I
like a
don't like
ripe
the vocabulary this
like
game
a
is
ripe banana.
delivering.
Ooh, banana.
No, 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 no.
Yeah, it's
The
gonna
other
be.
thing I think we
I'm
have to
so
keep in
excited.
mind too is that Nintendo is still going to want to promote some things on the first Switch.
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, that is a great point there, Tim. This will be the
Yeah.
first sort of time that we'll see what a two switch direct looks like.
Hmm.
Right? Like how will they position that? Will it sort of, it's like I anticipate Switch Directs will now be like 30 to 40 minutes because you are having to sell Nintendo Switch 1 consoles and Nintendo Switch 2 content.
I think it'll be a lot like what we saw at the very beginning of the life cycle of the Switch, where it's like this is coming to 3DS and the Nintendo Switch, Sushi Strikers, like
Yeah.
that. There's going to be some crossover titles. They're going to promote for both. But here's where I think they're going to have to be careful, is they're going to have to be careful to have some very explicit like wording of this is only for Nintendo Switch 2
Yeah.
or this is only coming to Nintendo Switch 1, which I know that's not really a thing, but it's like they need to be sure that people understand there's not going to be like if this like okay, like we'll say game A, whatever game A is, and it's there's not going to be a Switch 2 version,
Yeah.
right? They need to be explicit about that too.
Yeah,
Because there's been
Switch
so
One
many
version
people.
will run on a Switch 2,
Yeah.
A
but it
Switch
won't
one,
be
this will run on Switch 2, but there will be no upgrade.
no enhancements.
Yeah.
Right.
I know this.
It's kind of what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I know that this may sound like a controversial hot take, but here's what I believe Nintendo should do for this October. And it is, I believe that they should release Mario Galaxy 2 on the OG Nintendo Switch as a remake. And the reason I say that is you have 155 million units out there that still exist, and you still need to feed that base. And when you put in the Switch 2, it will still upscale, will still do all those things. But there needs to be a game that will help sell and move
It's fine.
move units.
Do that, and then add in an update to use the mouse.
That's fine.
For,
That's fine.
For the pointer.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm okay with that. That's why I was going. But at first, I was going to say, well, no, they can't do that because it needs to be for Switch 2. But there has to be some way to emulate that pointer control for Yoshi. Which is why we haven't got that yet.
Yeah. Do you all think that we're going to continue to get, like, for the Nintendo Switch 1 big games, all these upgrade packs, right? I think Roger asked a question recently, is like, what, like, are we getting an update, or would we get an upgrade pack for Animal Crossing? Would we get an upgrade pack for Pikmin? Would we get an upgrade pack for Smash?
So right? I think I'm of the opinion that there will be a couple of other free updates, and they will be minor, like they have been for some of these games, but especially for Smash, that's going to be a paid upgrade.
Oh, for sure. But let me be very clear. I don't believe any of these are free. I believe you got your two free.
You're saying all paid updates.
Yep. Here's what I believe. I believe you got your free updates when you got Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom for Nintendo Switch 2. I think, like, just like they will for Jamboree, like they will for Kirby, I think they're going to do, here's $30 upgrades for these games that are now Switch 2. And by the way, here's a new island in Animal Crossing for $30. You're going to tell me that people would not, like, drop at that?
I don't think I'm going to push back only on Animal Crossing. I think we're going to see those other updates, but I don't think that they're going to do another update to Animal Crossing past the what was the last one? The islands, the job thing.
Yeah.
Building the houses. No, they're already anything that they're going to do, they're going to put into the new one. And if there is a new one coming, trust me, Animal Crossing was way too big on the Switch for them not to already have a new one in development. In fact, I kind of have this conspiracy theory, like we read about this week, that Donkey Kong Bonanza was originally supposed to be on the Switch. That's where they started development. I'm thinking that the reason we didn't get any further extensive updates for Animal Crossing on Switch for New Horizons was people started saying, no, put that on Switch 2. Put that on Switch 2. Move that feature to Switch 2. Move that to the new system, to the new console, on the new version. So I don't even expect we'll get a graphical update pack for Animal Crossing.
I actually think there could be an update only if this next Animal Crossing is further out than we expect.
Oh, yeah.
Because
that's true.
Again, they're trying to sell to all the hardcore people first, and that could include the hardcore Animal Crossing or cozy gamers. So to get them to purchase the next system, I guess it just depends on how quickly they want to get that new Animal Crossing out. If it's going to be 2 or 3 years from this year, then I would think that maybe there might be just an upgrade to keep people, to go check it out on your Switch 2 type of thing. With a couple little things sprinkled in there, maybe like another island, like you said. But if it's close,
not to rush.
If it's close, then within say next year in 2026 or even 2027, then maybe not an update. Maybe it's like you said, they started seeing like, oh, let's just go ahead and build a new one. It could be one of those things too, where like you said, they could have been building the next DLC and then it ended up blowing up so big they were like, you know what, we're just gonna make this a new version.
What I don't want them to do is to do another situation where they do a Happy Home Designer game where it's like, this is very much a tech demo.
It's going to be Amiibo Festival too.
Tim, you say things like this, and there
it's going to be an island where you play Amiibo Festival.
You putting that out in the universe, and anyway.
Well, if we do see a direct, I hope that we, I'm not hoping, but I'm wondering if we're going to see any games that will be game voucher compatible.
That's a great segue. I love it because the Nintendo Switch game
sitting on that program, for 5 minutes while you guys rambled.
I love it. I love it. Fair. The Nintendo announced today that the Nintendo Switch game voucher program is scheduled to come to an end in January of next year. And January 30th, 2026 will be the last day to purchase game vouchers. That will not be the last day to use game vouchers. No, you'll have those for another 12 months, or as long as you continue to be a Nintendo Switch Online subscriber. Now, I want to say this before we do the Chicken Little, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. I want to remind everyone of what has been mentioned on our show before. Jesse has made sure to make a distinction about this, that Nintendo Switch game vouchers do not work for Nintendo Switch 2 games.
Right. They made that abundantly clear well before the Switch 2 launched.
So, the important thing to remember here is, are there going to be Nintendo Switch 1 games still coming? Yes. But if you own a Nintendo Switch 2, chances are this may not affect you as much as you think it will. I'm just saying, because not all games are game voucher applicable.
Yeah, they have to be Nintendo published and at least sell for at least $50, but of which, since the game vouchers are $100 for 2, you don't want to spend them on the $50 games. So that, again, limits it even further. So technically, you could have used it to buy 1-2 Switch, but who would have done that?
So as we think of like the upcoming games specifically for the Nintendo Switch that you could use them for, and maybe I'm sort of like working around the problem, but could you not purchase them for Metroid and Pokemon? And then
pay the upgrade fee? Sure, you can do that. Pay the
upgrade fee? I'm sure it'll all equal out to being probably the exact same in the end, possibly, but.
So my question with that is there going to be an upgrade fee for those games, or is it just going to be two separate versions?
Oh.
For Pokemon, there is an upgrade fee because the retail price of the Switch 1 versus Switch 2 is a $10 difference.
But is there going to be a difference for Metroid?
We don't know yet.
It's almost like we need a direct to tell us more.
Right.
Well, we ask you to tell us more. And by you, we mean our listeners, about what you thought about the game voucher program going away. And here's what you said. Nuke the Bridge says, disappointing but not unexpected. I kind of figured they were going away when they discontinued gold coins. Nintendo is raking in so much money that they clearly don't feel compelled to offer these types of discounts anymore. Shrug. Victorious GX says, I never use the vouchers, so I don't really have a strong opinion about it. What I'm seeing from this decision is that Nintendo is moving the goalposts of what a fair price should be for their first party games. Hoots gave two thoughts. He said they had already stated it would not apply to Switch 2 titles, so I expected it to stay around, kind of like a much less generous version of the old Yellow Ribbon Player Selects from GameCube days. A little bummed, but this was always better. But it was always better to wait on the occasional sale anyway. I guess this is just following the trend of old stuff getting more expensive as our country implodes more as time goes on. At least it's not as bad as raising the price of the old console by $100 like the other guys. Chris HL says, can't say I ever used one. Solo says, I only used them once, and that was on my son's Switch for games for him to choose from. I would have liked to see the gold coins made more of a contribution to the purchase of games, seeing how lots of Nintendo players like to buy physical. Zablanc says, I do have a feeling they're getting rid of them because we have a lot more $70 and $80 games coming. And JD Phoenix in Australia says, indifferent as I never used them, but know of people who did. And never went away here like unlike the US. Nintendo might come up with something for Switch 2, but it's unlikely in the short term. So business, Justin, what's your take on this? Is it more $70 and $80 games are coming down the pike and Nintendo's just trying to stick it to us? Or is this just peeling back of the facade of Nintendo as our friend and they're not a company who likes to make money? What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily know if that's the case. I think we may see a voucher system in the future aimed at the Nintendo Switch 2, and the pricing model is changed to reflect their new pricing model alignment for their products. I think like anything, like all these programs inevitably come to some end at some point. And so, you know, I think they understand that the current pricing that they would have for a voucher and their current reflection of what they are pricing games at would not align for them, to be as profitable in the margins as they were before. So the best case scenario here is that you close down this voucher program from a business perspective and reintroduce a new program in the coming years to be able to do this. I think that's just the business part of it, if I'm being quite frank, right? Like you want people to come to the Switch 2. We know the pricing model for the Switch 2 games is higher than it has been for the others from previously. That means that your value for those vouchers has to adjust as well. And so it's much easier to take away a voucher program for a couple of years and come back and say, let me tell you about this amazing program that we have, right? Or they're coming back with some different new rewards program, like, hey, buy 10, get one free. I don't know. It's like a Subway foot-long sub. I don't know, right? Like they could be, right? I mean, I think Nintendo is...
The Wii U originally had a similar program on digitally purchased games. You got 10% back in the future discounts. That's a buy 10, get one free. The Switch's version with the gold coins was 5%.
Yeah.
Buy 20, get one free.
Their last couple generations, they've done this sort of like kickback for either reducing costs or giving you some sort of discount. Excuse me. So I suspect they'll do it again. It's just going to be modified. It's just going to be adjusting, right?
Yeah, I would imagine to support up to $80 games, it might be $125 for two vouchers, which then in Japan it'll be 12,500 yen, which is about
Yep.
$85.
100%. Right. I think that's sort of just the business nuts and potatoes around it. So
Yeah. Good thoughts.
Have Have y'all used vouchers in the past? Because
I used
I
them
think I've
one
used the
time.
most.
yeah, you are the voucher king. You are flush with
Yeah.
vouchers.
I
So
think I've used 7 sets of vouchers.
Good
I
Lord.
got
3 from the
a
US and
set.
4 from Japan.
I got one set, and I ended up using my last voucher on Tears of the Kingdom. So I did get a deal there. But I forget what I used the other one on. Um, I don't know. But
Ye-
I think I only bought one set.
Yeah, I think I only used one set also. I was, I think in Switch 2 era, or Switch 1 era, I was still very physically motivated as opposed to digital. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
I used it 3 times, 3 pairs.
Okay.
Okay.
It will be interesting to see if there is any kind of customer loyalty program for the Switch 2, because it seems like they've pretty much sunset everything for Switch 1, and a little bit sooner than they would have done in the past. Um, you know. So anyway, let's move on and talk about a couple other things. We thought this was interesting. GameStop is auctioning off a stapler on on eBay. And if you haven't heard the story about this, it's a good one. So buckle up. A GameStop in New York uh, physically stapled receipts to the boxes of Nintendo Switch 2s on launch night. And I think it was almost every single Switch 2 that they did this to, the stapler punctured the screen on these brand new systems, and people didn't know until they opened them up and saw the puncture holes. And it was a huge ordeal, huge fiasco. Of course, GameStop, Nintendo, they made it right. They got everybody a console. But now GameStop has decided to take one on the chin, and I think this is actually pretty cool. They are auctioning off the stapler that committed these atrocities for charity. And so right now the eBay auction is up. You can go look at it. It's scheduled to end this coming Wednesday at 12:51 p.m. Eastern. The current bid on this stapler is $123,000, just a little over that, maybe more at this point. And they
I
are
just
going to
refreshed. It
give.
hasn't changed.
Okay, it hasn't changed. So $123,100. All of the money will go to the Children's Miracle Network Hospital. It's being called the GameStop Staplegate charity auction, and here's what you get with you get 4 items. The first item is you get the black stapler, which was used by a GameStop associate who, in a moment of launch night excitement and misjudged enthusiasm, stapled a receipt directly to a customer's new Nintendo Switch 2 box, puncturing both cardboard and screen in one swift motion. Features authentic field use wear throughout and retired immediately from service. This stapler now stands as a retail legend from a half-second decision. Item 2, the Nintendo Switch 2 console serial number blank was the recipient of the above mentioned staple, refurbished by GameStop. The screen has been repaired and it's ready to play. It's the first known console to be officially stapled during product launch from GameStop. Item 3, the box. You get the original retail packaging with the staple mark. While the box is otherwise intact, the puncture serves as a permanent proof of Staplegate's origin. All original packaging is otherwise intact and included. And last item is the staple. Carefully extracted and preserved, this is the actual staple that pierced both box and screen. Bent from impact and removed during the incident investigation, it has been archived in an individual display pouch. In other words, a Ziploc bag. The 3/8 steel wire fastener is now a tiny twisted piece of GameStop lore.
This
So
weekend,
again,
we're going to do a 24-hour marathon to raise money to purchase this, right? That's what we're going to do. Just get everybody to pitch in.
I don't know
24-hour
that we can
marathon.
raise more than $123,000.
Sure we can.
But
We're the Nintendo
this-
dads.
yeah, guys, this is pretty epic, and you got to give it to GameStop for making this right. Number one, and then for turning around and doing something that is going to benefit sick kids. Right? I mean, they could have tucked tail, but they've owned the mistake and they've made good on it. I think this is really cool. It's just something you got to laugh at, right? Yeah. So I
That
think
is
we've already kind
hilarious.
of covered some of this stuff, but just some very quick Nintendo developer news. It has been revealed Donkey Kong Bonanza is being developed by the team behind Mario Odyssey, and was originally planned for Nintendo Switch. But the director in an interview with IGN said, when we learned about Nintendo Switch 2 development, we realized that the best implementation of these ideas and technologies would be on Switch 2. And this allowed us to engage in creating really extremely rich variety of materials and very large scale changes in the environment on that new hardware, respectively. Mikey Burgett asked a question about this because he saw it in our weekly update over on Patreon. He says, my question is, since it's now been revealed that this was originally planned as a Switch 1 game, what will be the first major first-party Switch 2 game that was developed specifically for Switch 2?
We're probably not going to see that until 2027.
Hey,
honestly.
Guess what? I have the answer. It's already out there. It's
Welcome
Nintendo
Tour?
Switch 2 World Tour or Welcome Tour.
I would say that in Drag and Drive.
Yes, I think Drag Drive is it Drag and Drive or is it Drag Drive?
They pronounced it Drag and Drive during the direct.
Drag and Drive is, I think, can only be on Switch 2, right? Because of the mouse controls.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it. The other developer news I wanted to highlight here is Nintendo Cube, who is known for working on Super Mario Party Jamboree, is actually the developer of Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which is why some of those mini games might feel a little familiar when you go in there and play those. So they're also busy working on finishing up Jamboree TV right now, which we want to remind you guys is out in just a couple of weeks. So if you need to purchase that second set of Joy-Cons for your family so all of you can use mouse controls, now's the time to do it.
Or that camera, because they are really highlighting it. They're highlighting the camera and the mouse controls for the update. So
absolutely. Also want to highlight for you guys a new batch of icons is available for NSO subscribers. This is like the 6th week of Mario Kart World icons that are being offered, and Tim was delighted to learn that there are Super Metroid and Metroid Fusion icons that you can get this month as part of NSO. If you just go, all you have to do is go over and boot those games up, and then you'll be able to purchase those with your hard-earned platinum coins. And they actually, me too. First day, day one.
As soon as I was told, someone pinged me on it, I was like, I'm there.
I almost pinged you on it, and then I went to check and see if somebody had, and I was like, oh yeah, everybody's lighting Tim up on this.
Oh yeah.
I had to say the Mario Kart World icons elements have put a hurting on my platinum coins over the last few weeks because I'm like, I'm gonna get them all. It's and you know what's crazy is a lot easier to get icons of all the enemy characters than it is to actually unlock them in the game. Anyway, the most frustrating unlock mechanic of all time.
Friendo says Dragon Drive is the Nintendo RPG game with dual mice.
Ooh, oh God! Now I want Drag and Drive. Yes, Drag and Drive. I'll try to say that. I'm sorry, the Southern comes out with Drag and Drive. Anyway,
like Bump and Jump.
Bump and Jump.
That's an old game from the 80s.
Game as a kid. Yeah, I love that game. It's frustrating as all get out, but I loved it. A couple other, news items here. Nintendo has announced that they will consider or are considering shorter development periods, and that's what they're calling it, shorter development periods on some games as costs for game development rise. President Furukawa said it is something that they consider and will likely affect smaller titles as opposed to mainline Mario and Zelda titles.
This is what I've been saying for years, that companies need to go back to the 1 to 2 year development cycle instead of the 8.
And you know what's crazy is that a lot of games that Nintendo does this for already end up being amazing.
Right.
So I'm all for this.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. I mean, I think, I wonder, like Splatoon Raiders, right? I wonder how short of a development cycle that is. I think, yeah, your big mainstays. I think, excuse me, you'll probably not do that, but I think this is a great opportunity, right? We see the industry currently where games are in cycle for 4 to 5, 6 years. All of a sudden now you look at the ledger, they're not able to be profitable. The fact is we have to sell 100 million copies. It's never going to happen. The studio shutters, right? To be able to have smaller, more concise games more frequently and shorten that development cycle allows for a healthy flow of games for people to be interested in. And it reduces your overall costs. So I think it's critical for them to take this strategy. So kudos to them.
Yeah, and I think realizing it early, or not getting so deep into, I really do believe that Metroid Prime 4's development cycle was the catalyst that has led them to this. I mean, yeah, gentlemen, we're at 8 years, right, of waiting on Prime 4.
Well,
And I'm like y'all, I fully believe it's kind of, I mean, they've said 2025, it's coming out this year. Finally, thank goodness. I'm excited for it. But if you could get 4 games in the span of that time that do pretty well and are also fun and
I,
people really like them and are
I,
excited about them, I think that's a
yeah,
win.
I
Those
think the
games
other,
don't have to be 12 million sellers to be profitable. They can be profitable at 500,000.
Yeah.
I think the other interesting thing that Nintendo sort of has, and we saw this with like Tears of the Kingdom, they were said like it was done for like they're polished for a year, right? Like Nintendo also has a war chest that they're able to take one on the chin and eat those development costs. Like if you go to Metroid Prime 4, that was developed for 2 years and then it stopped and they restarted it. Right. So that game has been in some level of production and development for 8 years. And then they make the decision of like, oh, well, what console is it going to end up being to? Any other publisher, any other developer is canning that game for being that long in development, right? Because you are just eating costs. And so yeah, whatever the 8 year cycle costs, and let's say not even 8 years, let's say it was only 6, and they said, listen, we gave you the IP and you didn't do anything with it, so you owe us money. I don't know. Let's just say it's 6. Like the amount of money that they're going to have to make back to probably recoup those costs is not probably going to cover that because Metroid traditionally doesn't sell as high as something like a Mario. But guess what? Mario Kart, Animal Crossing, all these other games that sell exponentially higher and probably way beyond their cost for recovery, like how much money they actually make off it, allows for them as an organization to have a healthy war chest to be able to do what's right for their employees by not providing crunch. They have the opportunity to polish to make sure that when the game does come out, it comes to quality. And it all goes back to like that Mr. Iwata's, is it Iwata or Miyamoto's quote about a bad game, right? Like,
Yeah, Miyamoto.
yeah. And so Nintendo, I think, functionally operates differently. And I mean, you look at that as such a juxtaposition about like what happened with Xbox last week, right? Xbox is like, yeah, we are suffering, and so we are laying off 9,000 employees across Microsoft and the games division, and the amount of games that were like canceled, that people put years of their life into and are now gone, right? And so I think we as the video game industry has said like everything needs to be bigger, costs need to be bigger, all of those things need to be bigger so we make more money for the shareholders. But then so you have that mentality from like our big AAA developers, right? And then you go over to something like the folks who did Aggro Crab recently. They put out a new game, I think it's called Summit, sold like 100,000 or a million copies in a very short amount of time, that they had did it as a game jam. They didn't
Oh, wow.
anticipate the sale was going to be there. They had actually were going forward with 2 other games, struggled. They didn't figure out what they were going to do. And they're like, we're just going to put out this thing, and it hit. And it's a small, so
So
it's
so that game that you're referring to is called Peak.
Peak. Thank you, not
And
summer. I apologize.
my son and his friend group have been, this is all they've been playing
Yep.
over the last like 2 weeks
Hmm.
to the, I mean, like it has consumed them.
Yeah. And so I think that that's just a great example of like it's very easy to do there be money in those hills. But as any organization, you have to understand what your capital, your loss, and your profit margins are in relation to what you're doing. Because ultimately, yes, these big publicly traded companies are beholden to shareholders, but you as leaders are beholden to your employees and to set them up for success. Like Phil's statement about like, hey, yeah, hardworking people and great talent, but unfortunately, you as leaders made a misstep, right? And you have impacted 9,000 people's lives. Let's counter that to Nintendo's strategy, which is when the Wii U wasn't performing well, Mr. Iwata goes, I'll take a salary cut,
Yep.
right? So that we don't
It wasn't
have to
just
lose
him. I think
jobs.
most of the
Not just
C-suite
him.
did.
Yeah, so that we don't have to lose employees and we believe we can ride this out. The days of Nintendo is doomed. They should just publish Mario. When can Mario come to PlayStation? Well, look at us now, suckers. Right? Like so, but it is that ability as a company to be methodical and to take those opportunities. So excited to see what it looks like for a shorter development cycle.
Thought I'd
Mm-hmm.
look at what the stock price is currently at.
High. It's high.
Yeah, it's not at its 52-week peak, but it's still up there. 2173 out of 2409.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. I want to see what games come out of this. Here's a couple of other little quick news items that are fun. Number one, Animal Crossing is collaborating with Crocs. And this is coming on Tuesday, August 26th. The very first Animal Crossing Crocs collection will make its debut. This includes an Animal Crossing platform clog for adults and the Animal Crossing Classic clog for children. It also comes with Animal Crossing themed gibbets like a fruit tree, a house, Timmy and Tommy, Tom Nook, Isabel, and KK Slider.
Yeah, we've
Of
talked
course
about
it's
gibbets
coming.
before.
Yeah, of course it's coming with Tom Nook because this is another way for him to take your money. And for those of you who are wondering what this looks like, it literally looks like the shoe is an island.
It's well designed.
Yes, it is.
Listen, I'm not a Croc person, but I was like, how much is this? Tell me
Right.
more.
It's gonna, and well, let me tell you how much it's gonna be, Justin. It's
gonna
gonna
be a
be
lot.
whatever you're willing to pay scalpers for,
I
because
still
they are already gone. I'm
I
just
still
saying
I
there's
couldn't
no,
get I couldn't get the Donkey Kong Nike shoes.
yeah, they're gone. I mean, you don't even try. Don't worry about it. Just wait for them. They'll pop up on eBay in about 2 hours after
I
they
want
go
to
on
buy
sale.
these and like go to my kids' school wearing them and just embarrass them.
Yes, that sounds amazing.
If
I'm
you
all
remember
for it.
back in 2020
Yeah, do
when
video of that
everyone
too.
was trying to get PlayStation and Xbox, and they were using software to try to snipe
They're
bot
gonna do it.
purchases, that software was designed by people originally sniping shoes.
Yep, Tiding
So,
bot.
so yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's not a new
terrible.
thing. Not a new
Well,
thing.
and also great segue again, Jesse. We're going to give you segue points.
I didn't do that one on purpose.
I
first
know,
one-
but you're
first
just
one
doing
was-
it. See, it becomes more natural as you go. As you go. Speaking of scalpers, Amazon, folks. Let's talk about Amazon for a minute. It seems like Nintendo and Amazon have been in the midst of a cold war for a little bit now, at least the last year to a year and a half. Nintendo products not being sold in
Well,
a lot of ways.
I'd say it probably started with the 3DS, but okay.
Yeah, it may have been. Yeah. So, I mean, Amazon not necessarily stocking Nintendo products directly. Well, now that Cold War has ended because Amazon in the US is now stocking Nintendo Switch 2 directly for the first time. You can purchase a Nintendo Switch 2 directly from Amazon, but you'll need an invite to do so. What you'll need to do is go to the page and click the request invite button or link. And this is to prevent people from buying in bulk. So I will give Amazon props for that. The this is live right now, so you can go and check that out, and hopefully that leads to more and more stuff, and on the site in the future. Because like Nintendo, like we have already talked about, they like making money, and Amazon's a good way to do it.
The road to 15 million.
Yep. All right. Some releases and updates that you need to be on your radar as we round out our news this week. We weren't on live last week, but Super Mario Strikers is now available. It came out last week for the GameCube app on NSO, the first update since Switch has launched, and that is widely regarded as one of the greatest Mario soccer games. It has Kremlings in it, which is and Waluigi has a crotch chop taunt that he does when he scores a goal. How that made it into a Nintendo game, I don't know, but there you go. You can go check that out right now. Other games out right now that we think you need to have your eyeballs on.
Even the
Missile
developers
Command.
didn't know how they let them keep it in.
Yeah. Missile Command Delta is out now. Islanders New Shores is out, and we've got a first look about on that. Tomorrow, or today, as you hear this in the audio version, Patapon 1 and 2 replay will be available, and we will have a first look for that up on our YouTube channel tomorrow as well. And Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 is out early. If you do the pre-order thing with that, you can get that and all the bonuses and things like that.
There's a Doom
Next
bonus.
week, what's that?
There's a Doom bonus with it.
Yeah, there's a Doom Guy bonus.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And yeah, I remember playing Tony Hawk 3 on the GameCube back in the day. It was my introduction to the series. Loved it. Out next week, and I really hate that these two games are coming out on the same day. Donkey Kong Bonanza is out
I forgot
next,
about that.
Next Thursday, and we'll have a first look coming of that. Shadow Labyrinth is also out next week on the unfortunate date of July 17th. There is both a Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 version of these games. So look for that. I am super excited about this. I'm hoping it's good.
And just for clarity, folks, regarding Donkey Kong Bonanza, all four of us are getting the game next week. And so we will likely have our first impressions, first thoughts. Next week's episode will be really heavy orientated for Bonanza. So we're going to come here hot with our first impressions, thoughts, however much we've played with it. So if you want to be part of that conversation, we'd love for you to be part of that. So consider picking the game up if you'd like as well, and joining that.
Yep. Also out this month, July 24th, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Jamboree TV is out, and Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is out July 31st. And then just some, there's a huge list of stuff that's out through the rest of the year, but just have on your horizon Dragon Drive August 14th. That's $19.99 USD. And then Madden NFL 26, August 14th, which I know Tim is going to pick up. And so we'll have impressions of that. And then Shinobi Art of Vengeance is also available for pre-order right now. That's out on August 29th. And I am super looking forward to that game. It looks incredible. And as always, there's a ton of first looks and impression videos and all kinds of other things over on our YouTube channel of games you might enjoy. So be sure to head over to YouTube, type in Nintendo Dads if you're not already following us and subscribing. Hit those buttons, and then you'll get all the updates, and you'll see us play games so you don't have to, and help you make some educated decisions about where you spend your dollars, since they're seemingly getting stretched thinner and thinner in this space. So before we move any further in the show, let's take a break and hear from our good friends over at Manscaped.
Fellas, smooth sack summer is officially in season. So if your grooming game is getting a little wild lately, this is your sign to tighten it up downstairs and beyond. And this year, it's not just about staying smooth. It's about doing good too. We have teamed up with the folks over at Manscaped and Testicle Cancer Society, a registered nonprofit organization, to bring awareness to men's health while helping you level up your self-care routine. Meet the Manscaped Meet the Manscaped, a special edition drop that includes the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra in a fresh purple design and a ultra comfy TCS Boxer 2.0. But the real reason I'm hyping about this bundle is that every purchase helps raise awareness for testicular cancer, the most common cancer in men between the ages of 15 to 35. And that's why Manscaped has donated over $50,000 to Testicular Cancer Society, and I'm proud to talk about something that could literally save lives. Routine self-checks matter. Early detection matters. And talking about it, well, that matters the most. Join over 12 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and use the promo code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 15% off your entire purchase over at Manscaped. We're excited for Manscaped to come back and be partnering with us for this. We absolutely believe that men's health is absolutely critical, and checking yourself on a regular basis as a precautionary towards testicular cancer is absolutely critical. This is obviously something that men don't typically like to talk about. We don't typically like to open up about it. And sometimes we maybe don't worry about a lump. Don't worry about that, But I would just encourage you to continue to make sure that you are spending your time to check yourself regularly. Testicular cancer, again, impacts individuals between the ages of 15 and 35 as a large amount, most common age, but it impacts you way beyond that as well. So continue to check yourself, and big thanks to Manscaped for their support and their care and their donation to help fight testicular cancer. Thanks for listening. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Back to you, Marty.
All right. So for our Let's Discuss segment this week, it's been about a month. We're coming up on a month and a half, right? With Nintendo Switch 2. And we want to ask us, and we'll talk about this for just a few minutes here. How is Nintendo Switch 2 fitting into your life? And do you still use your Nintendo Switch OG?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I was actually having this conversation with my wife recently, and I was like, my Nintendo Switch 2 is only for Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive games. That is the way that I'm using it currently. That was the way that I want to use it. And then she downloaded a stupid game onto it. And I don't have the heart to delete it because it's a game she'll actually play with me. But it's like, it just kind of bothers me, but it's the family's, but it bothers me. My Nintendo Switch 1 is still docked at my station here. And when Nintendo Switch games come out that are only specific to Nintendo Switch 1 games, I will probably just play them on the Nintendo Switch 1 and record it on that console, because I'm also having problems recording on Nintendo Switch 2 stuff. But I would say, like, since the Switch 2 has come out, I have not picked up my Switch 1. It is respectively a very nice paperweight at my desk. So like, I am all in on Nintendo Switch 2. But I really don't want to download Nintendo Switch 1 games on my Nintendo Switch 2. I know I'm being weird particular about that. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
No, you bought it.
I'm just saying,
you play it the way you want to, right?
That's the way I'm sort of like, I've been very like, these are games that go on my Lite. These are games that go on my OLED. These are games that go on my Switch 2. What about you guys?
I haven't touched my OLED since I did the video about transferring profiles on launch day. So when I'm playing at home, I'm docked, but I do bring it along with me to when I play poker sometimes, so I can during a break if I don't want to socialize with people, which oddly enough does happen, but not often.
Yeah.
But I'll just kickstand out, Joy-Cons in hand, and just do some Picross puzzles.
Go back, like when you get a second, like go back and pick up your original Switch. It's like, you're just a baby. You're so small. You're just a baby.
Isn't that the truth?
It is light. It is small.
You're like, I was like, remember how this was the most amazing thing ever? And like, it's just a baby.
It feels so weird to actually have that in hand, right?
Yeah.
Afterwards.
It does
Like
feel weird.
here's even another one that'll kind of shock you is if you didn't go for the OLED and you go
Yeah,
back to the original Switch.
because that screen's even smaller.
Yeah, that's right. That was a shock because I had not seen the original screen in a while.
Yeah.
Can you
And then
imagine going from the Lite to the Switch 2?
no. And then like even going into like the eShop, I'm like, why is it so slow?
Yeah.
I know
Oh
that
my
Marty complained
gosh.
about it, but man, is it slow now.
Yeah, it's that's a huge thing. Um, what about you, Tim?
My Switch is my Switch 2 is my it's an upgrade. I play everything on my Switch 2 because that's what I wanted it for. I wanted to be able to play all my Switch 1 games on it and anything new that comes out for it. And if everything plays great, all the original games play great on it, then that's what I wanted it to do. I have my original Switch for game share when when I have people come over and they want to play a game, or any of Sam's friends or any of my nephews or nieces. If they want to play a game with us, we can do the game share thing with the Switch. Uh, and then I also use it for Mario Kart Circuit to control that my Mario Kart remote control. And it's sitting
Nice.
here. You can't see it right now because of the background thing, but it's still hanging on my wall here in the Nitro Deck Plus. So
Oh, that's cool.
Just hanging around.
So
just hanging around, just hanging out right. It's a nice display thing. It's very nice.
my original Switch now belongs to my daughter because we were originally going to take hers because she had the OG, my original Switch. We were going to take it and sell it. Well, she can't find it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
look, here's the deal. It's somewhere in this house. And we did we put her Nintendo account on the OLED, and she basically was able to get everything she wanted except her Animal Crossing Island, and she was like, I just want to start over. So that's fine. We I try not to give her too much grief, but I was like, if you find the 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 Switch, I need it because I would like to sell it, right? Um, I'm like Tim. The Switch 2 for me was an upgrade. Everything that was on my Switch 1 came over to the Switch 2. But I will tell you the interesting thing I noted today, really, is that since the Switch 2 has come out, I have not touched my PS5 once. And I mean, part of what that shows me is the only thing I was really doing on the PS5 was playing Fortnite. Because now I'm playing that on Switch 2 all the time. But
Does Fortnite have the mouse controls yet
yes,
on Switch? How is it?
so it's good. I don't particularly care to play it with mouse controls because I've gotten so used to playing it with a controller.
Right.
But what I found is if you put it on mouse controls and then you want to go back, you can't. Like you have to shut the
Oh.
game down completely.
Okay.
And I think that may just be a glitch. Maybe they've got it ironed out by now. I haven't tried it since then. So, but maybe some of our community could let us know about that. But I mean, what I played of mouse controls was super responsive. I just
So
suck with mouse
so you got
controls.
your mouse in the one hand, right? This will sound really. What's your left hand doing?
So what I did is I had the left hand moving. Like I had the Joy-Con in my left hand
Yeah.
that was moving my player. You know, I click to run, do all that, zoom in. And then the mouse control was used for shooting and jumping.
Yeah.
And so it is kind of weird because like you still have to press the A button or I mean sorry the
Right.
B button to jump, and if you're doing build you have to press the A button to build. So it's really just about moving, but it's not just a side to side look.
Mm.
It's up and down. It does it all. So and it's very highly responsive. So I'll say that. Um, what I am excited about and where the PS5 for me is going to become even more obsolete is when later this month when WWE 2K25 releases on Switch. And I believe that's on the 25th. So like in 2 weeks, I have it on PS5, but I'm gonna get it again because you know,
Have a problem.
I do have a problem. But here's the deal: when you've created yourself in a wrestling game, it's just kind of weird to like be playing that with like your wife standing in the background cooking. Like, I get a little self conscious.
Sure.
I mean, there's an expectation of what she
Don't look
sees
at
with my
me.
shirt off, in real life. And then now I'm
Yeah.
all like him in the game and I'm kind of buff and I just don't want to,
Yeah. You're
I
like,
don't want to ruin what,
this is what it could have been, but it's not.
but it's never going to be. So,
P.S. Do you have more chicken wings?
yeah, by the way, can you bring me my dinner? Anyway, but yeah, like that. The only thing that I can think of that and it's such a flip reversal now because most of the AAA games that I want to play are now on Switch 2 or coming to
Hmm.
Switch 2. So now it's like, okay, what Sony exclusives am I going to play on my PlayStation 5 for the rest of its life cycle?
Right.
Last of Us Complete Edition? I don't know. I don't know. They're never going to make Naughty Dog's never going to make anything but Last of Us ever again. It seems like
They're going to
so.
change their name to Last of Us.
They
Last
should.
of
They
Us
should just.
released Last of Us.
They should. But anyway, yeah. I mean, well, that's and the Nintendo Switch 2 is gone everywhere with me. So I mean, just there's as much excitement for it right now for me. I'm playing more games because it's new and I want to use it, and it's been great. The only complaint is the complaint everybody has about it is the battery life. So
Yeah.
that's a bummer. But
You
what are you
talk
gonna do?
about the PlayStation, and I'm in the same boat where I mean I was not playing it as much to begin with, but some of the games that I couldn't play on the Nintendo Switch, I was playing on the PlayStation. Now that I'm getting Madden and all that kind of stuff, there's still a few games that I could play, but I found out that a lot of the games that I'm interested in, I wouldn't play till later when it comes out on the PC anyways. So I've been thinking about selling my PlayStation
Mm,
and just playing any of those PlayStations that have games that eventually come over to PC, playing it then.
yeah.
So,
Tim, are we gonna get
Okay.
into hell? Tim, are we gonna get into Helldivers? Coming to
are we?
Xbox. Coming to
Yeah, right.
Xbox.
Yeah,
Right. I feel like we should definitely have a Nintendo Dad squad and Helldivers. I feel like that could be deadly.
I want to play the game, but can we do it on the Switch?
No. You got an
No, I'm
Xbox?
saying can we? Well, I got a PlayStation 5. We can.
Well, then keep your PlayStation 5 for now.
is that a
Okay.
cross-platform game?
I think so. I think
I think it's
PlayStation
going to
announced
be
there's crossplay.
cross-platform. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, there
Yeah.
we go. Very cool.
Okay.
Yeah, and with it coming to Xbox, do you think it would come to the Switch?
No.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like maybe it'll
Well,
come to the Switch.
maybe. I don't know.
You
Listen,
you know you
listen.
used to
We're
say
getting
that
pat upon. All right, we're getting pat upon
look.
from Sony. What more do you want from them?
It
Right.
used to be that like there was a clear line. It's like, yeah, that's not coming to Switch.
Yeah, I
Now
mean,
it's like it might.
yeah, I think Xbox has really broken that dam, and I think PlayStation is also in a little bit of a situation, not nearly as desperate as Xbox is, but I do think PlayStation is in a little bit of a like, we didn't do necessarily as great as we should have, right? Like we were chasing trends and we didn't end up getting there. We moved away from the first party experience. We've canceled a lot of stuff, and so I think that they are still beholden to being a publicly shared or traded company who has to make money, and so much like Microsoft, they recognize that there be money in the hills if we can get games on other platforms,
Mm-hmm.
especially platforms that have high install bases. So like I think even within the last 6 months last 9 months of like, hey, that Lego Horizons game came to Nintendo Switch, right? I'm pretty sure is MLB The Show
Still going. Yep.
still
Yep.
by PlayStation, right?
PlayStation
You've got
Studios.
Patapon. So they are sort of like dabbling.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll ever see like, look, it's Joel and Ellie on Nintendo. Like that's not going to happen. But I think there are probably companies and brands that they are probably don't feel are like core that they could probably say, yeah, that's comfortable being somewhere else.
Now, you say that, Justin, but the inevitable Lego Last of Us that's coming out is probably
Yep.
going on
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch.
Well, yeah. I mean, it will be something plus, right? So it's The Last of Us plus Lego. It's Horizon plus Lego. Then it's not quite the, not quite the
Lego
OG
Helldivers.
Right there you go.
I would play that before
Right.
I would play the regular Helldivers.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. All right. Look, we've talked that. I think we've talked ourselves into a corner here. Let's look without playing music. We can just go right into this because since we're discussing, there's this big rumor that showed up over the last couple of days. And maybe there's some factual information with it too. I didn't check. So, but
They're
Monolith
hiring.
Soft.
It's out there.
Okay,
That they're
Monolith
hiring.
Soft is hiring. Basically, I mean, they're hiring a lot of people. But Monolith Soft Tokyo is developing another quote unquote large RPG for Nintendo Switch 2. The speculation, rumor and innuendo is that it's a sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles X. And that's why we finally got that on the Switch. What do you think? I mean, I think here's my take on it: is I think it's absolutely inevitable that they develop a new Xenoblade Chronicles game for Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
Is it going to be a sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles X? Who knows?
From what I was reading, it's potentially not because of how they added on to the definitive edition.
Okay.
It seemed like from what they were saying, they kind of tied up some loose ends with that version that they came out with on the Switch.
Yeah.
So it didn't seem like it was open for a sequel.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think this is sort of like "And Water's Wet," right? Like Monolith, like Monolith is developing another Xenoblade Chronicles game. Of course they are. Yes. Yep. Remember, on the Switch original, you had Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and their DLC come out. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and the DLC come out. Those were new games. Then they went back and got the definitive edition of the original Xenoblade Chronicles and released it. And then they did X. So it was 8 years and 4 Xenoblade Chronicle games. Like Xenoblade Chronicles, the Nintendo Switch is the ultimate place to play it because they're all there right now. So
yeah,
yes, and P.S. there's money in Dem Hills, right?
Yes.
And they do a great job, and they know their audience. They know exactly what they're building at. So,
well, and it's
not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Isn't Monolith Soft also not developing every Nintendo Switch 2 game? I mean, they've had their hands in pretty much everything.
Well, and Nintendo purchased them recently too.
Yeah.
They purchased a chunk of them.
Is it going to be Xenoblade Chronicles Y?
It's
Why not?
Xenoblade Chronicles ZX and Knuckles.
Monolith Soft is a first-party Nintendo developer purchased by Nintendo in 2017. Or sorry, 2007.
Right, but I'm saying like their name has been in the credits of Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Kart World, tons of other games. So it would not surprise me if there was Monolith Soft in Donkey Kong Bananza.
I think Nintendo looks at Monolith Soft the same way they looked at HAL Laboratory in the 90s, right? As a developer that can do a whole bunch of amazing content for them and that they can leverage in a variety of ways, who are incredibly talented, but also don't just need to play support roles, can also develop their own huge, massive games for an organization. And that's what you want. You want the team to be able to be, you can be a third string quarterback, or you can be the first string, the starting quarterback, and you can shift wherever you need to. That's what an organization needs. And Monolith has delivered on that. So I'm not overly shocked by it. I only think,
good.
I think with Xenoblade Chronicles 4, it's just a matter of if. I suspect, all things being equal, I suspect we'll hear about it in 2026. maybe 2027. I think it's going to be it's going to be relatively early in the cycle in relation to it. I don't think it's going to be this year, but I do think like I wouldn't be shocked to hear about it at the end of next year. Right? Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was launched the second year of the Nintendo Switch 1, and it was like December or something like that, or November. So it's got some tails to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quick
So
Staplegate auction update. It's up to 159.4.
I would
Wow.
like to believe that's because of us, that
Yes.
we
Yep.
helped that happen,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
We helped that happen. So on that note, let's talk about what we've been playing.
Okay.
All right, who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Do it.
There's a couple games I've been playing that's out on our first look on our YouTube channel with first looks. So go check those out. But mainly just wanted to focus on a couple of games, which was Super Mario Strikers for the Nintendo GameCube on Nintendo Classics. I actually never played it before, even though I had a GameCube and it's one of my favorite systems. I got to play with some of the NSO guys like Shannon and Sam while we were waiting for some people. We played that and got to play it for the first time using the GameCube controller that you could buy for the Nintendo Switch 2. And first of all, doing the little cool thing where you hold the button down or a direction on your joystick to be able to make the GameCube entry come on. That was fast. That was fantastic. Be able to see that intro for the GameCube come on.
I don't remember how they did it, but I think they on the original GameCube, if you had other controllers and had a certain button combinations, they did change the audio. I think that's also possible here, but I don't remember how that was done.
Okay. Yeah, it was fun to hear that and see that. And then also because of the GameCube controller was connected, it turned the NSO colors from, I think it's red to orange. Purple.
Yes.
So, which was really cool. But Strikers game was a lot of fun, a lot more fun. I didn't even play the Switch version of Strikers. So I can't compare it to if it's better or worse than the Switch version of Strikers, but the GameCube version was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun playing in teams. Shannon kicked my butt and Sam's butt that we were 2 against 1 and he was winning. So Shannon's awesome at Strikers. But no, it was a lot of fun. It was pretty cool to play, and I actually want to play a lot more of it. So looking forward to doing that. Plus, it was a lot of fun being able to do the game chat thing while we were playing. So the other game I've been playing is Lost in Random, The Internal Die. Also a couple videos out on our channel of what I've been doing there with that game. Having a lot of fun with it. The games in general these days seem to challenge me more than say regular gamers do. This might be easier for some gamers, but for me, this is a roguelike game, and it's taking me a lot of runs to try to build up my character so I can get through further and further into the game. But I'm having fun with it. I'm enjoying the story that's coming with it. It is a sequel to the Lost in Random Lost in Random game, which was a card-based, a deck building game. And this one isn't so much. It's again a roguelike where you have to go in and you build up your weapons and your abilities to see if you can get in further in your run. And so far, I've made it to the third boss in the run, third boss deep, and still kicked my butt. But I'm having fun trying each time to go back in and see if I can get it done. I thought I wouldn't like that aspect of it either, because you are playing the same bosses over and over again to every time you make a run, but the levels are different because it's procedurally generated. So it's still a lot of fun. It's still a lot of fun to unlock a lot of the different relics you can collect that will help you on your run. It will help each run you collect things you get to keep so that you can improve yourself for that next run. So I'm having a lot of fun with it, and it's helping me keep busy while I wait for Donkey Kong. So that's what I've been playing.
Pick somebody.
Jesse, you've been playing Lost and Random, and I know you actually sent me a message saying, "How far did I get?" So
Yeah.
how's it been going for you?
I haven't. I've only had 2 play sessions with it, so I think I might have done 6 or 7 runs. And this is. I knew I didn't like roguelikes, but this is just reminding me more that I don't like roguelikes. I
Oh,
don't like having to do the same thing over and over again.
yeah,
And I saw where you can up to change your weapon, and I didn't even think of doing that yet. I've been focusing on upgrading the sword. But I'm like, oh yeah, if I had the bow, I would have the range and stay away
yeah.
from things. I should. So if I do go back to this, I'll definitely try that. I do. Do you consider like the twins the first boss or the second boss? I'm not sure how
That's
those
the
things
first
work.
boss.
Okay, so I've got to the first boss and got whacked hard.
Because once you beat that, then you go to a different biome. So,
Oh, okay.
yep.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
I
and
see
I got whacked. You will not win unless, again, you're really good. Maybe there's players out there who win the first time around. I did not win the first time around. Took me a few tries.
I do get a kick out of getting the spike traps against the enemies because they will take damage on the spikes.
Yes.
And that is satisfying when you can do that.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
but
that's one of the things I like about this game is that once you start figuring out which weapon you like and which skills you add on to your character to help you play the way you like to play, that's the way I like it. Is that it helps build your character the way you like to play. Like, because I actually beat the 2-headed boss or the 2 heads when I switched my weapon to the bow.
right.
And built
Yeah.
up that weapon.
So I am noticing that I am stronger than I was in the early runs. Something that I can kill now in like 2 or 3 hits. Used to take 7 or 8.
And there is an ability too with the pips when you collect the pips too that I like that helped me a lot too was the ability to respawn when you die.
That was the first thing I bought when I could.
Yeah, so that was awesome.
It has not helped much yet, but so again, if I do play this again, we'll try to look at unlocking the bow and then giving that a try to see if my luck changes with that.
Yeah, I have not played Hades, and I would think that that sounds like it would be similar to that.
Yeah, the gameplay is very similar. So if you liked Hades, you might like this. It's definitely
okay.
Different in that you're not talking to all these smart ass mythical gods.
That's the best part I heard. So
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but
right.
They are smart asses.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So it's not a lot of conversation going on during the runs, but there are NPCs that you meet in the sanctuary that can be helpful.
Yes. And every now and then there's some comments made by Alexandria. So
yeah, like the last guy I found was the shy guy from Sixtopia that won't talk to me until I find the buddy.
Yes. Yes.
So if that tells you how far I
when you find what you said?
His buddy.
Oh.
I presume when you find his buddy, he'll be more talkative.
Or get a costume to make him think you're his buddy.
I haven't gotten costumes yet.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. All right, so I've been playing more Picross stuff, continuing Squeakross, Home Squeak Home. I finished both books. The first book I did both puzzles. There's, as I said last week, once you finish a page, you can do a harder version of those puzzles on that page of the book. And so I've done book 1 to completion. Then book 2, I've done all the puzzles once, of which the last puzzle doesn't unlock until you've done all the previous puzzles. And then the last one is bigger. It's like a 30, I think it's 20 by 30 on the first version, and then a 30 by 30 on the second version. So the last puzzle is the biggest puzzle in the game. And so I did both versions of that. Then I'm going back and doing all the second versions puzzles of the second book. So I'll probably have that done by this weekend. And then, so this came out last year, or maybe even the year before, I don't remember. It's Picross Records of the Shield Hero. I picked it up and played through it when it was new, and I had not seen the anime at the time. So I'm like, oh, that's a cool looking character. I have no idea who that is. But the last 3 or 4 weeks, I pretty much binged watched the show. And season 4 just started yesterday on Crunchyroll. So I have watched all 50 episodes from season 1 through 3, and then the season 4 episode 1 last night. So I am now caught up. Now that I know these characters, I want to go through this game again and just say, okay, I remember that character. But yeah,
That would be a good reason why.
Yeah. So I like the anime. Otherwise, I wouldn't have binged seasons worth in 3 weeks. But so if you're looking, I think the first season was done in 2019, and then 2021, and then 2023. So and then season 4 is now this year. And Justin went poof, and that's what I've been playing.
Okay, well, since he went poof, I'll talk about what I've been playing because it's been a few weeks since I've been on the show. I've been playing a lot. Let's start with, I guess, the obvious. I'm still really enjoying, really loving Mario Kart World. Having a ton of fun with that. Honestly, the most fun that I'm having with Mario Kart World right now is playing it online. I suck at it online. I'm terrible at it, but I love Knockout Tour so much. And I'm like, is this mode is what Mario Kart needed. I really enjoy it. I do. I am still trying to play the versus or just your regular versus race. Mainly right now because I've got about 5 characters left to unlock, and it's enemies that you have to get through the Kamek, magic bubble item, and it's just super, super frustrating, honestly. I wish they had not done it that way. That's really my biggest gripe about the game is it's the most frustrating unlock mechanic that I think Nintendo has ever come up with. I don't know what the reasoning behind it is. It's almost like there is no reasoning behind it. But other than that, I'm still like I just sometimes it's great to zone out and drive around an area and try to find stuff and try to figure out how am I going to get up there? How am I going to, get that question mark panel or whatever, or get that coin, peach medallion. So that's been good. I've been playing some more Hogwarts Legacy. We did get a copy of the Switch 2 version. We did a video on that over on YouTube, like really right after the Switch came out, or it's actually a few weeks ago. It's been, it's really good. And I say that as somebody who had the PlayStation 5 version, and there is very, very little difference in what I can remember and what I saw. It's been a while since I played it, but it controls well. The graphics are great. Loading times are great. And if you're a Harry Potter fan, recommend the game. And still, too, if you can find the Switch version of it for cheap, the upgrade to the Switch 2 version is $10. So you can actually get the Switch 2 version for less than retail price if you want to do it that way. Also been playing a ton of Street Fighter 6. Y'all, I can't say enough good about this game on Switch 2. It is fantastic. So much fun. And it looks incredible. Like if you want to go and look at some of the comparisons between the PS5 version and the Switch version, they have videos out on YouTube and things like places like that. Um, the Switch 2 version is in a lot of ways is better, I think. At least for the like some of the shadows, some of the shading, it doesn't look as washed out as the PlayStation 5 version. So it definitely holds its own. I've seen, I mean, I hate that it's gotten like negative press because it's a game key card or whatever, but it's so worth it. Like for $60, you get the game and all year one and year two content, which if you go and look, the year one pass by itself is $50.
Yeah, it's $80
So
total if you got everything separately.
yeah, so get the get the $60 version of the game. It's like it's 59.99, and that sets you up because year three is about to start. And there'll be 4 or 5 brand new characters that come out with that, new costumes and arenas and different things like that. So I'm looking forward to spending a lot more time. Two other games I've been playing
I just purchased
that
it.
I real thank you. Because here's the deal. Honestly, here's why I'm
You don't get
so
commissions.
no, but here's why I was about to say, here's why I want people to buy this game is because I want Capcom to support Switch 2. And I want them to support Switch 2 with their big games.
Right.
So that tells them, hey, you know, and I will say this too about Street Fighter 6. I
Mega
really
Man
love the
12.
yes. I really love the modern control mode on Street Fighter 6 where you hold down a shoulder button and press the attack buttons, and it does combos for you. It doesn't do the most advanced combos, but it will let you combo easily. It does drain some of your power meter, like that you use for your drive or whatever attack. And you can also hold that down and press the X button, and it does special moves. The X button does special moves without having to do the inputs anyway, but if you hold down the shoulder button, it like supercharges it, and that eats up your meter really fast. Um, but
Okay.
it's just if you're like me and I'm 45, I'm not learning 400 billion button combos like I used to when I was a kid.
Right.
So if you want to play the game and play it in a pretty semi-competitive, uh, pretty competent way, modern mode is great for that. But two other games I really want to mention. Number one is Ticket to Ride is out on Switch now, and it is such a great version of this board game. If you're not
Is
familiar with
that
Ticket to,
new or has it been
I think
out?
it is. Yeah, I think it's new.
Really?
New. Yeah. Ticket to Ride Switch. It may not show me the
Looking it up.
release date. I'm looking right now. It came out on August 8th, 24, and I missed it somehow. So,
Okay. Okay.
but there is, it does work on both Switch and Switch 2. It has online play that is, it's cross-platform because I was playing it on my Switch and played against 4 other people who were on different platform. I don't know what the symbol meant. I may have been mobile, but it's such a great implementation of the game. And you can either buy it in the regular version or there is a version that you can get that includes all the DLC. Which, and you say, what DLC for a board game? Well, if you're familiar with Ticket to Ride, the main map that you get with the board game is the United States, but there's also Europe and Nordic
That was going to be my
expansion
question. Is
and
what?
India expansion. So you get all of those maps with the DLC version. Now, normally those are like let me just I'm on the web page right now. The San Francisco City expansion, the India expansion, the Japan expansion, Switzerland, ticket pack bundle, Nordic expansion, round the world, all of that is it's all included, or all of those DLC packs are included for an extra $10. if you buy it all at once.
Yeah, looks
If
like
not, it's
looks like they're
$25 for the game.
yeah, looks like
And then
each individual DLC is either $6 or $8, or there's a
yeah,
$30 bundle.
yeah. So if you buy, so there's a $30 bundle on top of a $25 game, or you can save some money and do the 35. It If you're not familiar with it, Ticket to Ride is a game about claiming train routes across America for points. You're trying to compete to go from point A to point B on various tickets that you'll get points for at the end of the game or will count against you. Or you can get points for having the longest train or several other little objectives, And so totally non-combative game, but you do have to think and kind of strategize ahead. It's a great like entry level board game for people who are wanting to level up from like Monopoly and Life and things like that. It's been one of my family's favorite games for years, and I love that it's portable. Like you can play it asynchronous online, you can play it in the same room and like past the controller mode. You can play it online with other people as a real time game, and you can link up with friends and play it cross platform. So, like, if somebody has the iOS version, they can play you on the Nintendo Switch.
Nice.
So I think it's really, really great implementation. Like the sights, the sounds, the controls, all super easy. It has a great
I
tutorial.
added it to my wish list.
There you go. And then here's one I think everybody should rhythm game fans actually should add to their wish list. And that is Patapon 1 and 2 Replay, which is out now. If you're listening to the audio version of this, this is a PlayStation game that originally came out on the PSP way back in the day, where you control an army of little eyeball men. I mean, it's the only way I know to describe it. It's like an eyeball with stick figure with arms and legs. And the way that you move them is there's a drum beat in the background, and you have a different sound mapped to each of the 4 action buttons. So for Switch, Y, X, B, A. And when you play a certain rhythm, a 4-part rhythm, your Patapon people will do something in response. So there's a march command, there's an attack command, there's a defense command. And then, as I've learned, I'm about an hour in after getting the code today. There's various like dances they can do to change the weather or call on spiritual, like magical help or whatever. And so it's um, rhythm game meets strategy. And it's pretty charming. The little Patapon chant with you and do so. There's like you can build up your combos and go into fever mode, and that helps them attack more or go faster. You have to hunt for materials so you can make more Patapon. It's just I love the game when it was on PSP, and this is a great version for the Switch, and I'm really excited to be digging into it some more. And you do eventually get to like equipping items on them and breeding certain ones. Like you'll get materials and you'll get like a titanium ore instead of a regular rock, and that will make a stronger version of the one of the because there's units. You'll have like a standard attack unit, a spear unit, a bow and arrow unit, archer unit. So depending on the material you use, it will, and then your Patapon can die. When they die, they leave behind a hat, and if you manage to collect the hat before you leave the level, um, you can resurrect them for free before you go back out into battle again. So this is really great. We'll have a first look video up on the channel this weekend. So look for that. If that sounds like that game's up your alley, you'll definitely want to watch for the video. So that's what I've been playing. Justin, what about you?
Yeah, I've been playing Mario Kart World. I like it. Go fast, do stuff. It's good. Like it a lot. We'll continue to play it. The other game I'm playing is Cyberpunk 2077. I put in about 15 hours in that game. I'm really, really enjoying it. Definitely not family friendly. We've talked about that one before. There are nuances to the game I didn't understand. So at some point in a recent playthrough, all of a sudden my player stopped running. And I was like, why? I don't understand what's going on. I literally thought my controller was broken.
You're encumbered?
I thought that like the stick was broken. So then I tried on the Pro controller, it was broken. I'm like, there's something wrong. Maybe I'll start a new save file and see what happens. No, turns out I had too much inventory.
Yeah,
Turns out I had
you were
too
encumbered.
much inventory, and it slowed me down. And it took me an hour to figure that one out. Um, it's just a great game. Like it's a game that like
You can tell Justin has never played an MMO.
no, and
Notice
so
that was the first thing I thought of.
Yep, 100%. And man, it's there's so much to this game, and I enjoy all the time I'm with it. Sometimes it's a very a great story it's being told. Other times it's like, oh, I'm going to choose a side mission. I jump in a doom buggy with this lady, and I drive in this cave, and now it's a whole shoot 'em up with like 8 other people. And I just got to get good, right? And I got to like make things blow up, and I'm trying to hack stuff and getting things to distract people. You can play it however you want, man. It is so impressive. I'm having such a great time. This is really what's holding me over till Donkey Kong comes over. And I'm actually really concerned about like if I swap out the cartridge because I know my play style, it ain't going back in. Right. And so I'm really like want to sit in that pocket, and I'm really like I if this is the caliber of some of these third-party games that are actually coming to the Switch, I am so impressed by what CD Projekt Red has done. There's a rumor right now that they're doing like a Nintendo Switch upgrade for The Witcher 3. That'll be pretty awesome. But man, am I impressed with what, like, if you're looking for an example of an amazing third-party game to play on the Nintendo Switch that looks good, plays good, and feels great, I'm going to tell you it's Cyberpunk 2077.
So I'm going to completely agree with that because I have it too.
Yeah.
I
What
was
version?
actually
What did you start off with? Corpo, Street Kid, or
Badlands.
Badlands? Yeah, you seem like a Badlands kind of person.
Yeah, I started with
Out
Badlands.
out in the bush. Yeah, you
Yeah.
seem like a
I
nomad.
actually was at Walmart earlier today and I just detoured through the Switch 2 section to see, hey, what do they have? Like, what's the stock look like? Do they have any systems? And there was a lady there, and she was in front of the console lock case, and I could tell she was like looking because we still have lights out, we still have OG switches like Mark II version, we still have the OLED, no Switch 2s, and I could tell she kind of like had a confused look on her face. And I asked if I could help her, and she said, "Yeah, I'm just I don't know, I've got friends who have a Switch, and I'm trying to decide, like, I want one. I'm primarily a PC gamer, but I'd like to have a Switch." And I said, and she said, I'm trying to decide if the Switch 2 is worth it. And I was
Mm,
like, well,
mm.
okay, as a PC gamer, that means you probably play games like, not Cyberpunk, Elden Ring,
Yeah,
things like that. And she was like, yeah, I'm into that. And I said, well, I could tell you from having a Switch 2 since it launched and having Cyberpunk and seeing games like Harry Potter, the Hogwarts Legacy that have come out. And there I was like, it's absolutely a night and day difference from what you would get on a regular Switch.
yeah,
And she was like, well, my son is a huge Harry Potter fan, and I've been thinking about getting that game. And I was like, so I told her, I was like, well, you can buy the Switch version and do the $10 upgrade and save yourself but I was explaining like she didn't know about the micro SD card, the express versions, and different things
yeah,
like that. So, but for her, Cyberpunk being close to, I was like, it's pretty close to what's been on some of the high end consoles.
yeah.
And for her, she was like, oh, well, I didn't realize it was that powerful. And I was like, I don't think anybody does. Like, I don't think a whole lot of people really realize,
Yeah.
because this is just first round. I mean, like, we don't know what
I,
can like really
Uh,
be done with it
I,
yet.
I,
I have only experienced some really minor kind of glitches
Hmm.
in Cyberpunk. Like I killed someone and their like body kind of folded over and their legs folded under them, and I was like, oh, that's not okay, right? And like, but like out of the 15 hours and the running around Night City I've been doing and everything, like nothing that was comparable to when Cyberpunk initially launched and was pulled off the stores.
yeah,
They've done a great job. They've been a real like a redemption story. Go ahead, Jesse.
yeah. I don't remember who it is. I saw it in a headline, I think on my Nintendo News, but some group said that if there's a game that runs on Xbox Series S at 60 frames a second, it can most likely be ported to the Switch 2 without having to cut anything back.
Yeah, and I think this is sort of the challenge I think we definitely saw, and we saw it in sales numbers, right? Is that you have got individuals or companies like CD Projekt Red who have done very well, right? And they have done well by the consumer. They've put it on a disc. Like if you buy the physical game, there's stickers in there, there's a note, there's all these, like it feels like a great experience. So I'm having a really positive experience about that. I have pre-ordered Star Wars Outlaws from Ubisoft. And I don't feel as confident that the experience and the quality that I'm going to get is nearly the same as this. But then I look at like,
I think that's very fair, knowing the
I think
track
it's fair,
record.
right? I don't prove me wrong. I hope that you prove me wrong, right? But then I look at something like and Star Wars Outlaws up in Canada. I have to double check. I think they priced it at $100, right? Now, and then I look at Wild Heart S coming out in 2 weeks from now. The demo's out right now, by the way, from Koei Tecmo. And that is a port of a versioning, obviously, of Wild Hearts that came out. And they're pricing that in Canada at 60. They understand sort of this like let's play around that market pricing and understand where we are versus AAA versus AA, and what do the quality of these things look like. I'm fascinated by what we're going to inevitably see from Xbox, and I'm really interested in what Square's stance is going to be on Final Fantasy VII, and then of course what Elden Ring looks like as well. So it'll be very interesting to see what ends up happening. But I'm excited to play Kong Bananza.
I will say that as somebody who purchased Star Wars Outlaws on PS5, it just did not grab me. I wanted it to. It looks phenomenal. It sounds phenomenal, but it for me was just not. And there's a point that I got to in the early game where it's very stealth heavy, and I'm just not like I've come to realize I'm not a stealth gamer. Like I tried to play it the way they wanted me to, and I just kept dying and kept dying and kept dying, and I was like, this is not fun. This sucks.
Gotcha.
Like it's all about like they want you to send your little creature out and have it do things, and then you got to come up and knock their heads together. Well, great, that's fine, except there's 400 stormtroopers behind you at the same time you're doing that too. And then you get into like if you ever set like in this area, if you ever set the alarm off and they start coming at you, it's like might as well just go ahead and restart because there's 80 of them, and and you can't ever do anything to them, enough to get them to stop coming. And like that's
Right.
the whole point of that section is getting through quietly. And I was just like, I can grind this out or I can just quit. I'm just gonna quit.
One of the Star Wars games I'm hoping comes.
It wasn't my thing.
Is Survivor Jedi
Yes.
Survivor.
Yes,
Because I never got to play that one.
Those.
Yeah, I played Fallen Order, beat that one, but never got around to doing Survivor. So
Fallen Order was very good.
Yeah, it's one of my.
We've not done Survivor.
It's one of my, if not number one, it's in the top 3 at least of my favorite Star Wars games. So
absolutely. Well, that's what we've been playing. Let's turn on the community spotlight.
All right, this is where we get to talk about things from the community, because we like to, talk about those questions that they have, and also about things that we have going on in the community, like coming soon, a Mario Kart World Monthly Mayhem. So that is something that John has been toying with, and he shared with me his idea, and I'm like, can't wait till he posts it for everybody to start playing. So you guys will have a lot of fun with that. The community will have a lot of fun with the Mario Kart World, because I know a lot of the community members have been asking, like, are we going to do this every weekend when we play Mario Kart World type of thing? Because we have a lot of fun doing that. So it's something that look forward to. All right, let's jump into the questions we got. We got quite a few from the community over the last couple weeks. So first coming from Russ G via email. So first, I'll just get out of the way that I've never pirated a Switch game or modded my consoles, but I'm kind of puzzled about the approach to bricking or disabling the console by Nintendo. I'm not entirely clear on the situation, but it would seem Nintendo can uniquely identify every game. This is how they ensure gold coins are only assigned once for games, and also how they are identifying those who are pirating the games. So if they can uniquely identify a game, wouldn't it make more sense to just ban those specific games? Even for a business profit perspective, wouldn't it make sense to just block ban the games that are being pirated versus block banning the entire console? There is likely a technical reason why Nintendo isn't taking this approach, but what is the reason?
My thoughts are, you are right. They could do it if they wanted to, but I think they just want to make a better message. And
Yeah, I
making it more expensive for you to recover from the loss.
yeah, I'll say the following thing with Nintendo. It's black or white. There is no gray. Right. And so I think that creates a bit of a scorched earth approach in regards to some of those things, but that's their approach, right? Like it's well, I could just block the game. Cool, then I'll do another game. Right? Like, okay, so let's just we're gonna cut the head of the snake right off right there and then. I don't necessarily think it's the most consumer friendly approach, but it's the approach that they've taken. And I think when you see historically how Nintendo thinks of their IPs and how they think of the importance around those things, it is guarded, right? And so, yep, that's exactly like I wasn't shocked when they said they did that. Do I think it's right? It seems a little extreme, but it's their right. They could do that. And PS, the TOC says they can do that. So. Yep, that's the way it works. If you want to play ball, if you don't want to play ball, then don't buy the console or don't do the thing, right? Totally your decision.
Right.
If you don't want to risk it, like play within their guidelines, that's their decision. So,
Sure.
I did hear of a person who bought some used Switch games off of Facebook Marketplace over this past weekend. They put them in their Switch 2, did the updates, and Nintendo shut their online account down.
that's interesting.
And they ended up contacting Nintendo and they're like, oh, yeah, sorry about that. And then it reinstated their online account.
Interesting.
Yeah, they didn't really say why they did that, other than it happened. And so, I mean, I think that kind of shows why some people are so worried about it. But
Yeah.
honestly, if you're like this person said, they were very helpful. They put it back up the next day. They got him back rolling. So that's not an issue if you're doing it that. But then there's some people who want to do other things. Just leave it at that. And sorry, I mean,
No.
Yeah,
All right,
'cause
next.
if you're buying a pre-used copy, you never know if it's what the previous owner did with it.
Yeah.
Next question comes from our Patreon side of things, and it's David Bulicka. He asks or says, DK out next week. It's bananas to think it's been over 10 years since Tropical Freeze released on the Wii U. What do the dads predict the sales for Bonanza will be, and do you see it surpassing the combined DK country return sales, the Wii, 3DS, and Switch, of 10.74 million in the first year of release? Will this and the new DK theme park push DK into the stratosphere, or will the Kong fall off the girders and not land the princess?
10 million in
Well,
his lifetime, maybe, but
that
not in
took
his
a little.
first
That
year.
took a lot.
Yeah, that if they make their 15 million system sales, you're talking about a 75% attach rate. That's not happening.
Yeah, the install basis isn't high enough to be able to do that, and the fact it's not cross-platform.
I think 2 is reasonable at this point. For the first month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I think the reality is a couple things. We've got a really hot system right now. There is a bit of a supply and demand
Yeah.
problem, especially in the
If
US.
You're looking
But
at 5, maybe 6 million units out there by now.
yeah, the other part of it is that like what we hear from a lot of people who are Nintendo fans are like, cool, now tell me why I bought this console. Right. And Nintendo is really trying to position this as this is the reason. And this is from that team who did Odyssey. And I think it really showcases a lot of the pieces of the Switch 2 that we really want to be doing. And so I think it's going to do well. I would agree with Jesse though. It can't sell 10 in the first year. Just mathematically it can't do it. I do think like over time it will probably, you know, in a couple of years from now probably be cracking that 10, but I think in the first year that's probably impossible. I do think probably by the end of the year. And again, if we're doing a full year cycle, I think you're probably looking at least 5. So, yeah.
Good points. That didn't even cross my mind to think of the actual number of Switches that are out there to be able to play it. So good points.
Yeah, that's literally a stopping. Like it's a barrier.
That's what's holding it back.
Yeah,
right?
Barrier is that there isn't enough.
This isn't the Breath of the Wild situation where there was 110% attach
Yeah.
rate at one point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Cool. Now we got some questions on our Discord. Got about 5
Sure.
of those. Yeah.
do
So
it.
Darth Platypus asks, Nintendo has come to you to pitch ideas for themes for the Switch 2. What are a few ideas, and what is a really off the wall niche one?
Ray.
Mm.
What did you
Like
say?
like themes? Like are you
Right.
talking about like themes on the Switch console, or are you meaning like
Yeah.
we're making it okay? Like
That's the way I took it, was themes
Yeah,
on instead
like,
of black
right
and
now
white.
we have
Okay,
dark and
got it.
light. So my
Yeah,
joke answer
got it.
was gray, you know, somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
But
Negative.
Negative. Yeah, I mean, I would just say like you end up going and you get like high res shots in game of some of these things, or even actually that's the off the wall thing. They've emphasized photo mode in a lot of this. You can set photo mode photos as your theme. I
like
think that would sort of be a really cool idea, cool opportunity to really showcase that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think like any of these things, you know, now you end up purchasing a game and here are 5 backgrounds that you get. Like, I think that would be pretty awesome. Or they cost 10 gold points, right? Or 10 silver coins or whatever it is. Off the wall one, I would like to see like a video of like the history of Nintendo, or like yeah, something like that.
Maybe the further you scroll, the background changes.
Yep, 100%. Yep. Or maybe like a time lapse video of like I don't know, the Nintendo Museum or something, or
That'd be cool.
original Furukawa cards.
You know, my answer when someone asks for off the wall niche is always going to be Chibi Robo.
Sure.
Chibi Robo theme.
Nintendogs. Chibi Robo riding a Nintendog
Yes.
in a Pilot Wing 64 plane.
The jetpack.
And then Olimar is on top of that.
That's, I think, exactly it.
There you go.
So I think that I love the photo mode idea, but I also would think that they would tie it in with the coin system that they currently do with the profiles. Yep. It costs a little bit more because it's a background image, but be able to take components and make your own background. On games and things like that. So
like
build your own like sticker.
Essentially, kind of like almost like what you could do with the DS.
What was that? What was the crane game that the 3DS had?
The claw game.
Yep. Yeah, it'd be kind of like that. But
I purposely never downloaded that because if I got into that, I would have been in trouble.
Yeah,
sure.
Use coins that you earn the platinum coins to be able to buy parts and make your own background and theme through that system.
I like it. That's a cool idea.
So that was that question from Darth Platypus. Next one is Zablanc. He asks, we all know about the famous Laffer curve, which correlates tax rates and revenue, but what do you think the Laffer curve is? And Nert
According to me.
responded, yes. Nert said, having played Leisure Suit Larry since I was a kid and did not understand English, I would have never guessed that I would fail to get a reference like the username until regarding this message.
Reading reading the message.
It's an experience similar to finally understanding a saying that you used for years without knowing that what it really means. So go ahead, Jesse. What is the
Well, before I give my
Laffer
answer, if you want to hear what you all say, because I have an answer.
Laffer curve is the peak performance of Jesse in relation to the rest of the team, because he performs higher than everybody else. And so depending on the day, there's a curve associated with his ability and capacity to do that.
That makes sense. I don't know. I can't beat that one.
Do you have anything, Marty? Okay. So what I thought of is the amount of Picross that I play is inversely proportional to my mental state.
Fair enough. There it is. Okay. Great response.
Nice. And you want to expand on what Nert was saying about your name?
Oh yeah, my name Laffer with 2 L's originally came from Larry Laffer from Leisure Suit Larry.
Nice.
When I first used it as a computer handle, I used the full Larry Laffer moniker, but then this is still back in the DOS days. I needed to find a version of it that cut it down to 8 characters or less. So it turned into L Laffer with 2 capital L's, and then just over the years, I just got lazier and lazier, and now it's just turned into all lowercase. Sometimes the 1 uppercase, but yeah, that's where the name came from.
Nice. All right, good one. All right, next question from Mecha Dragon. I have a bit of a silly question here. I got inspired from watching a YouTube video. Let's say you're put in that classic action movie trope scene where the assistant has to shoot either you or your clone, and he doesn't know which one is the real you. What would you do to prove to your assistant that you are the real you?
Again, I'm thinking of something about my mental state, which I don't know how to narrow it down more than that, but
I've thought about this question all day, and because I read it earlier, and I don't know.
I wasn't able to think of an answer either.
Because would a clone not do the same things you do and have the same preferences you do?
Just depends on when that clone was made too, I guess, right?
Depends on how many copies of the clone it is generationally.
Right? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like in a cartoon, it's so easy, you know. That's the real Optimus Prime. I feel like this is a Transformers episode from G1. Like there was a clone that Megatron made, and
Right.
And it was in that one, it was like the real Optimus Prime was acting like Optimus Prime, and the clone one like tried to kill humans or something like that. And it's like, duh.
Yeah.
You know.
Acted like a Starscream.
I think mine would have to have something to do with a hat. I don't know exactly what, but it would have to do something with a hat.
The fake Tim doesn't wear a hat.
Doesn't wear a hat, or it's some god awful hat that I would never wear.
I think it's that the real Tim is from Michigan and the fake Tim is from Minnesota.
From Minnesota. Right. All right. Or
how are things in Duluth?
Or the fake Tim just hates any Detroit home team.
It'd be like the fake Justin hating gravy and cheese on fries.
Right?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And here's the test for the fake Marty and the real Marty is which one will eat vegetables.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's
Green
eating
vegetable.
broccoli. It's the fake one
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah,
yeah.
Shoot
kill
him.
him. Shoot.
Yeah.
Fake Marty eats a piece of broccoli, and it's like, well, that was easy.
Darth said, no, the fake Tim has a highly curved brim on his hat.
Nice. Or he's wearing top hats instead.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes.
It's like and that's a good one because it's a subtle change. It's a subtle
Bizarro Tim
difference.
is clean shaven with a real out of pocket hat like a fez.
Nice.
Bizarro Tim. I love that. Can somebody get us some art of a Bizarro Tim?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Jesse, we may have just figured out our title for this episode, Bizarro Tim. You want to start working on that artwork? Also, where is that music coming from?
I actually had artwork set up for something else.
Okay, thanks. Okay, love it. Trust you then.
Were you hearing something when I
Yeah, we are hearing some good old funky music there.
really?
Yep.
It was. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was close to adult film music.
I don't because I didn't. So what? I turned on Robo Jesse, but I didn't say anything.
Oh, you
so
turned on Robo Jesse, indeed.
So I was preparing to say something, but I don't know what the hell happened, and I didn't hear it. I don't know if it ended up on the stream or not. Well,
oh, it did.
I'm pretty sure it did.
Robo Jesse turned something on for sure.
we'll have to chat. Did you hear the music? Because I don't know. Because if I didn't hear it, I don't know if the if it would have shown up in the.
What was that?
Yeah.
All right. The next question came from Koopa Kid 80. With the summer in full swing and more outdoor activities and adventures taking place, how does the dad's gaming habits change? More handheld, perhaps? More family type games at local gatherings and barbecues? How do game companies alter their release schedules during summer and why? Inquiring business minds would like to know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question. I think probably a little bit more handheld, depending on the temperature. Like if it's hot outside, then it's probably like stay inside and play games where plausible. Probably take it with me a little bit more on holidays or trips or something like that. I do think I think there used to be seasonality in relation to games releasing for developers and for publishers. I think now that sort of has just become like games are always released all the time. I don't really think like the summer seems to really slow down games. If it does, it's probably a little bit comparatively, but it's not droughts like it used to be. Like, I mean, we, look at all the games being released this just in July and August that we've talked about just from Nintendo alone. So I think that there is no there are seasons you want to sort of like avoid, but even Marty made a great point of the fact that the new Pac-Man game, the Labyrinth, right, is coming out the same day as Bonanza. Like, ooh, that's bad timing, right? Like you want to try and avoid those things as possible, but ultimately you have to get to your dates.
I think maybe I actually play more in the summer because it's hot, and I don't want to go out in that. That's not my thing.
Gatherings, what are those?
Right. Gatherings is when we get together to play a game. Mario Kart World.
Yep.
All right. Next is JD Phoenix from Australia. Asks, it is currently winter here, but it's been unusually warm, where he's wearing t-shirt and shorts, like he says. Have you had times in winter where you haven't needed to rug up, or does it simply just get too cold?
Every year.
Depends on what part of the U.S. we're in, right?
So,
or in the North America, we'll say, because
I'm 45, and in that many years, I've seen one snowfall on Christmas. One. Now there was a winter time, winter season here a few years ago where we were in the negatives a lot. Like we were below zero, and that was pretty cold. But it typically stays, it depends on what the weather pattern is. We usually stay somewhere around the 30s, 40s most of the time. As the lowest it gets, it can get down into the single digits sometimes, but it doesn't stick around very
for
much.
Justin, 0 is minus 17.
Yeah. Canada, we as you would say, rug up because it is cold. But I would say like I will wear shorts in snowy weather. Yeah, or not throw on a jacket or just throw on like a light vest and a sweater. Like in Canada, you're just kind of used to that. I'm also a bigger guy, so I always kind of like run a little bit warm anyways. But yeah, like it's not uncommon of like, yeah, it's snow outside. Yeah, I'll still run outside in my sandals and my shorts to grab something or do something. Like it's just sort of the way it works. So yeah.
It's about the
Where
same
I'm
here in
at,
Michigan.
yeah, where I'm at, even December, the normal temperatures will be 40s, maybe low 50s. It doesn't really get cold until normally like February, late January into February, early March. And I would say our snowy, we have more snow later in the season as opposed to earlier. But
Yeah.
when I lived in Minnesota, I think it was 99. I remember there was a December 1st, 99, and we had a high of 70 degrees. So I actually wore shorts to work that day.
Yeah, we get every now and then we'll get
just
something
because I
crazy
could.
like that.
But it doesn't happen often.
Where it gets crazy, where we can wear some shorts and a t-shirt in this winter time.
I
But I do remember one time that we went down to Florida for Christmas, and of course, Florida, everybody thinks it's freezing cold down there, but it was warm enough for us coming from Michigan to go swimming on Christmas Day.
Mm,
And everybody else is just
Yeah.
looking like, you're crazy. What are you doing?
yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm jumping in the pool because it's Christmas and it's hot enough for me to swim.
Yep.
Yeah, I
100%.
think about like the wardrobe that I have, and I love the idea of like, the overcoat, the big like the floor length heavy coat, kind of thing for wintertime, and scarves and stuff like that. And like knit hats, beanies. Really don't have need for those most years in winter.
Right.
It's mainly like, yeah, I could go out in a light jacket and a pair of jeans and be fine.
Nice.
Welcome to Tennessee.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Now, I mean, like 2 years, well, that was that 2 years ago, probably 3 years ago now. 2 weeks before Christmas, we had tornadoes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so there you go.
That's just crazy.
Nice. All right,
Yep.
last question we got from David again. Oh, no, wait. Oh, that was it.
You read that
We
one.
read that one.
That's it.
Yep. So we're good. That's it.
Well, then that means that's our show. We want to thank you for sticking with us for episode 535 of Nintendo Dads. And as we close out the show, we want to say a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger, Jacqueline Amira, and an anonymous Patreon producer, as well as our other 100 plus patrons. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. From the bottom of our heart, we appreciate you guys so much, as well as our 19 Twitch Prime subscribers that get access to our Discord as well. Almost 1,500 Twitch followers and over 8,000 YouTube subscribers. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for telling others about the show and the YouTube channel and all of our other stuff. Thank you so much. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. Be sure to check out our website, nintendodads.org, where you can find our family of podcasts and other recommended podcasts like Star Wars Dads, Mega Dads, Dad Crossing, and the Retro Logic family of podcasts. Our latest YouTube videos and tweets, all the links to our social media, Patreon, and Extra Life pages, and Nintendo Dads merch. And don't forget, speaking of merch, get 15% off your Manscaped order with the code NINDADS. That's NINDADS. Go over there and treat yourself to some body care products from manscaped.com. Email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. We'll play it on the show. We always love to hear from you, whether it's written questions or voicemails. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music we use throughout the show. And remember, wherever you download us and your favorite podcatcher of choice, please go and leave us a favorable review, 5-star, 3-star, whatever the highest is, and give us some comments. Written comments always help push us on up the charts and help other people find us. For me, for Jesse, for Tim and Justin, this has been episode 535. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.